Um, we're here at Eastern Point in Gloucester with Eric Hutchins from the National Marine Fisheries and Tim Puritan from Mass Audubon. And could you talk about this project and the Essex project?
Yeah, we're here today with the Mass Audubon project, actually taking the proceeds, if you want to call it that, from the Island Road project in Essex. The Island Road project in Essex, we replaced it was an 18-inch crushed metal round pipe under Island Road with a 5-foot wide by 3-foot high box culvert, which will increase tidal flow to well over 20 acres on the upstream side of Island Road in Essex. Yesterday, as you saw, we had approximately 14 volunteers, a lot of agency folks out in the field, and we, for the first time that I'm aware of, we actually physically did the ditch digging ourselves rather than have an excavator in the field, which actually made it a real fun project. About 14 of us out in the field yesterday. I estimate we dug out about maybe 40 cubic yards of high marsh patons, low marsh alterniflora, and muck and peat that was dumped in there from the eroding road. A lot of those plants were planted on site for restoration at the Island Road site, and Tim Puritan from Mass Audubon was on site to take some of the plants while they were fresh from the ground and transplant them down here to Eastern Point, which we've done this morning, which has been quite successful.
Yeah, it's critical in the sense that when you do these restoration projects, sometimes you have to call a nursery in Amherst or out of state in Maine, and here it's really good. We get native plants, native to Cape Ann, to go into the ground a day after the restoration, and that's really critical in terms of the viability, and hopefully the plants have a greater likelihood of surviving and doing what they're intending to do, which is stabilize the banks of the new creeks that were excavated and providing habitat, which is the most important component.
It seems like you said that it's real important that they are from the Cape Ann because there's even a difference between here and Maine. If the plants came from Maine,
Some people have that theory that the plant's success or viability is better if the stock is native. So we'll see. I mean, we'll find out. We didn't plant a ton of plants here. We probably planted, I don't know,
50 big plugs.
50 big plugs. So we'll see. High marsh and low marsh, as Eric said. So we'll find out. We'll know probably within a couple months whether those plugs are viable, and you'll see the new shoots coming out. So it's really exciting.
The big advantage over this stock from Essex is not just, or even probably not, probably the most important factor is the fact that we were able to take the whole chunk of peat with all the live roots within the marsh material. Usually when you buy plants from a nursery for salt marsh restoration or mitigation projects, it's usually bare root stock. So you're talking highly stressed plants with roots that you have to properly get in the ground, and there's a very high rate of non-success with the bare root stock.
That's true.
Or if you buy them with a, sometimes you buy them in a 2-inch peat pot, very little material. Yeah. These peat chunks that we brought in here today were 12 inches across and in some cases 18 inches deep. These plants are self-sustaining. You could put them actually in the middle of that creek right there and they'd do just well for weeks. They just wouldn't be long-term viable. So the advantages are pretty strong for these to take at this site.
could you tell all the different groups that are involved and agencies? There seem to be quite a different number.
Yeah, let's see if I can remember them all. Since we're kind of talking about the kind of this menagerie of 3 projects, because we did these 3 projects in this past year in Cape Ann: the Rockport Seaview Street project, the Eastern Point project in Gloucester, and the Island Road project in Essex. Pretty much the same partners intermingled on all of those projects. And I guess we'll do the laundry list and chime in if I'm missing who I missed.
I'll try.
Mass Audubon's been a part of all 3 of these projects and has been a clear lead on the Eastern Point project. The Natural Resource Conservation Service helped with the engineering on all 3 projects. The NOAA Restoration Center, who I work with, helped provide funding and technical assistance on all 3 projects. The Massachusetts Wetlands Restoration Program, the 8 Towns in the Bay Committee.
Fish America Foundation helped fund this project, as well as some corporate sponsors. Judith Nitch out of Boston did some of the engineering here. Pigeon Cove Whole Foods and Good Harbor Filet were big partners in terms of helping this come in. It's nice to have the corporate component too. And not only do we have agency support through Eric's outfit, we have the private sector also kicking in, and the nonprofit. So it's a real public-private partnership that everyone talks about. Let's try to create these things. They're happening here in a really vital and nice way.
Let's see a few more. Ducks Unlimited helped with these projects. In particular, the Essex project, they were the lead there. General Electric actually gave some funding through the Massachusetts Corporate Wetlands Restoration Partnership. Great Meadow Farm yesterday, surprisingly, out of the blue, out of Raleigh, showed up yesterday with a flatbed truck, 2 staff people, and a small payloader that was critical yesterday in helping move marsh peat around.
Saved us.
Was that Ed Reiner from EPA?
Ed Reiner from EPA came down to assist with dirt digging yesterday. Ed provided technical assistance on the design of these projects as well.
One of the most important partners, though, throughout, and another sort of string throughout the 3 projects, are the municipalities, each of the towns. The DPWs, the conservation commissions, they all participated, and there was good political support. And in Gloucester, in particular, the city council was very supportive of this project. So that was surprising, and honestly surprising, but it was just a good boost for these projects. To have that municipal core support is fantastic.
Frankly, the NOAA restoration program that I'm involved with, the community-based program, will not support a project without that strong local stewardship and connection. It's critical. It's critical in particular for the long-term viability of the project, the stewardship. It's not just about fixing projects, it's about education and getting community involvement, understanding and seeing the need, not just the desire, but the larger scale need for these kind of projects, especially in communities here in Cape Ann, that a very high percentage of our economic viability comes directly from our natural resources, whether it be extraction, from lobstering, fishing, clamming industry, or from the huge tourist base that comes here to enjoy these resources. So these towns in particular, having their understanding of the reason these restoration projects are so important.
Another partner, we could probably go on and on, is the state. The Wetlands Restoration Program has been fantastic, and Tim Smith is here, and he's helped out he's been a constant throughout all these projects. And also we had, in this project in particular, we had Mass Audubon members and just private citizens from Eastern Point come down and help us with some of the monitoring. And Salem Sound 2000, or Salem Sound Coast Watch as it's now known, is also done some critical monitoring. So each of these projects, not only are they shovel in the ground, they're also scientific projects, so they're monitoring the success rate. So if these projects are worth it, are they worth the public investment? Because a lot of these projects are funded essentially through taxpayers' dollars. So we want to make sure that they're useful and do what they intend to do. So that's another excellent component, is that volunteer monitoring from citizens essentially off the street to organizations like from other watersheds that are coming in to help us out, like Salem Sound.
Endless amount of groups and a lot of people just stopping by and taking a look from all these groups and agencies. It's great. Okay, thanks.
Great.